I was standing on my own front porch on a quiet Thursday morning, holding a ceramic mug of black coffee, just looking out at the yard. It was a routine I had followed for 20 years without a single issue. I shifted my weight to step down onto the first concrete stair to grab the newspaper, and my right leg simply vanished beneath me. There was no pain, no twisted ankle, no warning at all. The thigh muscle just failed to fire. I went down hard, the coffee mug shattered on the concrete, and my shoulder slammed into the iron railing. Linda came running out the front door, her face completely pale. I sat there on the cold steps, staring at my own legs, feeling a deep, suffocating sense of helplessness. I had spent over 30 years throwing heavy crates around a logistics warehouse, trusting my body to carry whatever load I gave it. But sitting there, picking pieces of broken ceramic off the ground, I realized that the strength I took for granted was abandoning me. I always believed that getting older just meant moving a little slower. I thought if I kept active in the garage and ate my usual breakfast of toast and black coffee, I would be fine. But my daughter Megan, who works as an occupational therapist and sees seniors lose their mobility every single week, came over that evening and shattered that illusion. She sat with me on the couch and explained that after you turn 60, your body completely changes how it handles the night. She told me that after 7 or 8 hours of sleep, an older body wakes up in a state of absolute panic for fuel. Because it does not have any food in the stomach, it starts looking for energy anywhere it can find it. And the first thing it eats is your leg muscle. The researchers call it a catabolic state. I just call it a silent theft. Megan showed me a paper from a national institute warning that older folks can lose an entire third of their leg muscle in a single decade if they do not stop this morning starvation process. Every morning I was waking up, having my coffee, waiting until lunch to eat anything substantial, and quietly feeding my own thighs to my metabolism. I realized right then that my entire morning routine was a dangerous lie. I was actively weakening the very legs I needed to stay out of a nursing home. I spent the next few months reading everything I could find, asking Megan questions, and paying close attention to how nutrition actually works for an aging body. I discovered 5 specific foods, completely ordinary things you probably have in your kitchen right now, that can completely halt that morning muscle loss. I am going to walk you through every single one of them, exactly how I learned to use them. And I want you to pay very close attention to the last thing I mention, because that specific item is not a full meal, but a strange little combination I eat 10 minutes before my breakfast, and it is the exact reason I can walk down those concrete steps today with total confidence. I have watched too many proud men retire from the warehouse, lose their balance on a simple curb, and end up confined to a recliner for the rest of their lives. It happens slowly, and then it happens all at once. The first thing I had to change was my fear of the incredible ordinary egg. For years, I had been told to avoid the yolk, or I just skipped eggs entirely because they took too long to make. But the science I found out of a university in Illinois showed that the yolk contains a specific compound that acts like a key turning on the engine in your muscle cells. Without it, the engine just sits cold. I have a neighbor named Thomas who used to struggle just to stand up from his garden stool. He started boiling 2 whole eggs every single morning. He eats the whole thing, yolk and all, within an hour of waking up. Within 2 months, I watched him stand up from that same stool without pushing off his knees. The dense protein and the vitamins in that yolk stop the body from eating its own legs and tell it to start rebuilding instead. The second change meant abandoning the sugary boxes of cereal I used to snack on. They give you a spike of energy, and then they leave your muscles starving an hour later. I switched to real slow-cooked oats mixed with a handful of chia seeds. When you get older, your digestion speeds up the processing of sugars, but slows down the processing of real nutrients. These tiny seeds turn into a gel inside your stomach, and the oats provide a slow, steady burn of fiber. Mexican researchers found that older folks who eat this combination keep a perfectly steady level of muscle fuel flowing into their blood for hours. A guy I know from church named David was waking up every night with brutal cramps in his calves. He started eating a warm bowl of oats and chia seeds every morning. The magnesium and the steady fuel completely calmed his nervous system down. He told me the night cramps vanished entirely after just a few weeks. The third food addressed something I completely ignored for decades: the electrical signals in the legs. Your brain has to tell your legs to move, and it uses minerals to send that signal. I learned from a major study out of Harvard that a lack of potassium causes those signals to misfire, which is exactly why your foot hesitates or your balance gives out unexpectedly. I started eating a simple banana every morning after my eggs. Not on an empty stomach, but right after. My son Derek has an older foreman working for him who was constantly complaining about his legs feeling like heavy lead weights by noon. Derek got him eating a banana with his morning break. That foreman told Derek his legs felt awake again, like the power had been turned back on. It is just basic potassium repairing the communication line between your brain and your feet. The fourth food was something I used to think was just a dessert for kids: Greek yogurt. But the truth is, the slow-breaking protein inside it is a lifesaver for aging legs. While normal protein burns up fast, the specific protein in thick, strained yogurt takes hours to digest. A study from the Netherlands proved that older adults who eat this thick yogurt in the morning gain noticeable strength in their legs in just 6 weeks. Linda's older brother was having a terrible time with his mobility. He felt unsteady every time he walked to the mailbox. Linda started bringing him plain Greek yogurt to eat with his breakfast. The slow drip of amino acids gave his legs the exact material they needed to repair the damage done overnight. He walks to the end of his driveway now without stopping to catch his breath. The fifth food sounds incredibly strange for a morning meal, but it changed how my joints felt entirely. Fatty fish like a small piece of salmon. As we age, our legs are constantly fighting a quiet, burning inflammation. That fire eats away at the muscle tissue. Research shows that the heavy oils in salmon put that fire out better than almost anything else. I started keeping a piece of leftover salmon in the fridge and eating it with my morning eggs twice a week. There is an older gentleman at the hardware store who has arthritis in his knees. He started eating smoked salmon on a piece of toast in the mornings. He told me the sharp, grinding heat in his legs cooled down so much he could actually sleep through the night without waking up in pain. The oils lubricate the tissue and protect the muscle from breaking down. But none of that compares to the one unusual habit that truly gave me my balance back. It was not a heavy meal or a fancy supplement. It was a steamed sweet potato and a pinch of natural, unrefined sea salt. The research on this absolutely floored me. A French institute found that older adults who ate this specific combination showed an incredible improvement in their physical balance and cut their risk of falling by almost half. The sweet potato gives your legs the deepest, most stable form of energy possible without spiking your blood sugar. But the real magic is the natural salt. Not the bleached white table salt, but the gray mineral salt. It is packed with dozens of trace minerals that your muscles desperately need to contract smoothly. I steam a sweet potato on Sunday and keep it in the fridge. Every morning, exactly 10 minutes before I eat my eggs and my oats, I take half of that sweet potato, warm it up, sprinkle a pinch of that gray salt on it, and eat it with a glass of warm water. It hits the empty stomach. The water carries the minerals directly into the blood, and the potato stops the body from eating my leg muscle instantly. Within 3 weeks of doing this, the slight shake I used to get in my knees when walking down the porch steps completely vanished. I felt planted to the ground. I felt like the floor belonged to me again. It is a terrifying thing to realize your body is quietly failing while you sleep. But you do not have to just sit there and accept it. You do not have to wait for the day when a cane turns into a walker and a walker turns into a chair you cannot leave. It just requires understanding that an older body needs a different kind of fuel right when it wakes up. You have to stop the starvation before your day even starts. I did not change everything overnight. I just started boiling an egg. Then I bought some real salt. Then I started soaking my oats. That is how you keep your house. That is how you keep your freedom, one morning at a time. I am going out to the driveway to help Derek check the brake lines on his truck now, but I am always around. Take care of your legs, and they will take care of you.